What is up, everybody? This is Keith Jameson. I go by GatorGuy231 on Twitter and Sorare and Discord if you want to find me there. And today we're going to be talking about really probably one of the most exciting things that's been released on Sorare in months if you are a brand new player, and that's the Academy. I wanted to get something out because, one of my passions actually since I've been on the platform, which is a little over a year now, and I've gotten to the point where, started out with not such a huge budget. And have gotten to the point where I have a very, very comfortable gallery, but it's the whole building, which was just intoxicating about Sorare and what was so fun about it. And I think that regardless of your budget, the Academy now allows you to do that too. Even if you want to only start with about 20-25 bucks, which is what we're going to do today on the video. So let's talk first and foremost, if you are brand new to Sorare, this is not going to be a complete intro. Not going to go over what the blockchain is, what Sorare cards are. I'm going to direct you, and I'll put a link to it, to videos by like Nellis. I'll put links there, and so many of the other amazing content creators out there that can explain and have done better content than I could probably do about introducing you to Sorare. We're going to strictly talk about the Academy. You're starting out, you've made the decision, you've done your research. I want to join Sorare. I want to play fantasy football on Sorare. And how do you do it? So assuming you have started, you're going to go in, would definitely recommend picking teams. If you are starting now, your favorite teams being MLS, J League, or K League. So teams like New England, who has Carlos Gil, who is probably the best player in the game during the summer. You could go to River Plate, who has some absolutely phenomenal players on their team as well in South America. You could go NYC. In Japan, you could go Frontal, you could go Yokohama Marinos. In the K League, you could go Daegu and hope to get Sashinya. Those would be just some random thoughts, and you're going to get 10 common cards. Now, let me pull up my share screen and let's go over kind of the rules for the Academy and how I would attack it. So the rules are you get to do 2 limiteds. Limiteds cost money. We are going to go over, though. I have 2 guys you can see at the top that I'm going to recommend. Weeks gone, but I just wanted to show you like the research that went into it, and how you can get 2 guys that you could plug in that would get you around 50, maybe even higher, for less than 20 bucks total. The commons are free. Hopefully you get a good collection of commons with a few top players in there. That helps immensely to be able to start your journey. If you get lucky enough to get a Sashinya, to get a Carlos Gil, to get somebody that could literally bang out 80 to 100 points on Sorare, you are way ahead of the game. What I truly, and now with those limiteds, you are actually, it doesn't say the rules here, but we'll plug in a lineup that I can make on my account, but you get 40% increase on the scores. So if the players get 50, your 2 limiteds each get 50, that is 70 points. So you got 140 points from your limiteds. If you get your 3 common guys to start, you are most likely and you're going to be able to captain one of them and get a 20% increase. You are likely to get another 150 to 200 points. At that point, you will qualify. Scoring over 300 points will qualify you for a star. That could be anybody like Messi. That could be Lewandowski. That could be Carlos Gil. You didn't get him during your pack, but now you did. That could be Sashinya. That can be some of the best players on the platform. Or it can be other players that are quite good as well and are going to help you get there. So scoring a star right away and keep on building up your star portfolio is going to help you progress in this game. And look, I don't want, the purpose of this video is for this deposit. Let's say that you only want to come on with 25 bucks. I want you to be able to grind that 25 into eventually playing the upper divisions. And I think it's completely possible with Academy, and why I'm so excited about it. All right, so you put those guys together. The big thing to pay attention to is your roster complexion, right? So within your common set, I just did it with a friend last night, and he got 2 goalies, 2 starting goalies. So that is the most important thing, because goalies, if you go on Sorare data, which is an absolute must if you play Sorare, that's where you can look up players' values. There's no cost to it, what they cost. Goalies are the most expensive. Goalies also have the biggest variance in their scores. So we don't want to spend money on goalies. We want to spend money ideally on defender and a midfielder. So your goalie should be a common, and then it should be the other two commons that you use should just be whoever has the best matchups, and whoever just gets the best scores. So, I think it'll be easiest for me just to pull and make a lineup real quick based on my gallery. But like I have Franco Armani common playing this upcoming midweek, which is a great card. He's a definite starter, so I can plug that in. That should be anywhere from 40 to 70 points. At defender, I have one common guy playing, Carlos Izquierdo, a center back from Boca. At the midfield position, you can see I have a limited and two commons. So let's just say I'm not recommending Wasazaki. He's like 0.03, so he's about 30 to 35 bucks in USD. So let's say you start out with a higher budget. He's on one of the top teams in Japan to take set pieces, so he is a great option. As you can see, I have some of the higher end limited. So there's Sashinya, who, if you are just starting, that would cost you about $350, $360. So that is not the recommendation, but we can see I have midfielders here, or I have forwards that I could plug in. So let's just say I wanted to plug in Sashinya, and now I only have two other extra commons. Enzo Fernandez just happens. I've been on the platform for a while, so I have really good commons. Happens to be great. And there's a lineup that realistically, this one could score 450 points, where I could wear a tier 2 limited, which could be worth realistically anything from about $10 to probably upwards of 25, 30 bucks with one time. I'm going to go over the two players. You can see Matt Hedges and Darlington Nagbe. That will cost you about 0.015 ETH. That is about 18 bucks. So if let's say we use those players and we won a card that's 0.01 ETH, that's about $12. I'm almost recouped my investment. I could sell that card right away, reinvest the money, or take it out if I wanted to get risk-free and almost be even right away. So that's what is so cool about the Academy. What I would do if this was my strategy, okay, and let's just maybe talk about the players. So Matt Hedges is a center back from Dallas. They have a great matchup. So I would be headhunting matchups right away. I'd be looking through. MLS is my thing. So, I know those as well. Home teams are huge at MLS, and there are a few teams that are just absolute cellar dwellers. So looking for those cellar dwellers away, guys on those teams are going to be great options. Matt Hedges is a starting center back. He is the team captain. Whenever he is healthy, he plays. You can see on Sorare Data, he actually has missed 2 in his last 5. But 80% of the games over the last 15 games, they played on Wednesday. This game isn't until Monday. Feel very good that he should be starting. And when he is in, we can go down his scores. We can see he gives really good upside, but still gives a fairly solid floor, especially in good matchups. But we can see this was home versus Seattle, which is a really good team. Scored 70 points without any sort of goal or assist. 64 was home. Again, home versus Toronto. 59 was home versus Portland. And these are all games without goals or assists. So Matt Hedges, for roughly about, I don't know why I have it in euro. So it's €5 here. That's probably like $5.50. That's a great budget. I also, just because I had a little extra money, chose Darlington Nagbe, former USA men's national team player. He is just a banged on starter for the Crew, as you can see. In the last 40 games, he's played 100% of the games, and his scores are incredibly consistent across the board, right? You get plenty of little spikes here, along with, like, if he plays, he's giving you 40 to 50. We can see over his last 40 games, he's averaged 56. His last 15 averaged 58. That's a great player for us. He comes in at about 0.115 ETH, which is about 13, 14 bucks. So again, $5 for Hedges, 15 bucks for Nagbe, 20 bucks. I've got a team. I'm going to get my commons for free. And now I'm going to go back to the Academy screen. But now I am looking at least in this star tier, because I got 40% bonus coming on Hedges. I got 40% bonus coming on Nagbe, and then whatever my commons do. And then guess what? If I get in this tier 3, tier 3s aren't going to be worth a ton, $2, $3, $4, $5. But it's a start. Now, one other thing, just to mention here with the Ethereum versus the dollars. When you go on, your deposit's going to be real money out of your pocket, deposit, cash. I would tell you, once you get on Sorare, I would try to do my best to think in Ethereum, unless, so building up my ETH budget, unless I'm planning to take the money out right away. I'm going to go in, I'm going to take it back out, then I can look at dollars and cents. But if it's going to stay on the site, the currency that Sorare is in is cryptocurrency. It is Ethereum. So that is technically, even though Ethereum does this with the values compared to the dollar, the amount of Ethereum I have, if I have 1 Ethereum today, no matter what happens with the value of Ethereum versus the dollar, I still have 1 Ethereum tomorrow. If I look at it though, compared to the dollar, I might have $1,100 today. And if Ethereum is only worth 9, it goes down. That's some of the risk with Sorare. But again, if you're doing a small deposit, you definitely can grind your way up. I like to think of this like the football ultimate team, right? I remember I would buy that and never want to buy FIFA points, never do anything like that. Get my packs, do the little rewards, sell them coin after coin, build the coins up, buy my best players, get my teams better, keep competing and doing that without putting in money. That was fun to me. If that was fun to you, you can do the same thing here on Sorare and get some awesome sweats while you're at it. The other tip I just want to make, and I hope all this is coming together, makes some sense. I had notes planned to keep me on track. I have not looked at the notes once. That is just kind of how I roll. And but if I'm truly in this to invest a very little bit amount of money, let's again, I'm using $20 as the example here. I would make sure I don't let the rewards that I make, or the cards that I buy, stay on them in my gallery. That's what we call it on Sorare. So when you own the cards, it goes in your gallery. I would not have them stay there for long. I would immediately try to sell them as soon as the game week's locked. So most of the main game weeks are on the weekends. They lock on Friday morning. I don't know why I said that. Friday morning. If you're on the East Coast time, it's 6 o'clock in the morning, it locks. You can list your cards for sale right after that. So go on Sorare Data, see what they're worth. Hopefully, if you buy the cards at the beginning of the week, right? The highest time, the highest price for the cards is always going to be just before locks. People that are panicking to buy the cards, are paying inflated premiums, are just going because they want to get a team in. But if you plan multiple days in advance, you should be able to get in at a decent price. Like let me go back and pull up NAGME. I bet you will see what I'm talking about on there, or even hedges. Let's see. So let's just look over the last week, and that's on rare. So we're gonna look at limiteds. It's been very, very stable, right? You can see 0.043, 0.046, not a big spike. On NAGB, let's see if there is a big spike. It might not be, just because they're not the most in-demand type of players. You can see there was a spike after he scored a goal or had an assist last game, but nothing since. So it has been stable too. But if you look at a guy like Carlos Gil, for example, that right before game lock, we're going to see a spike in price. And that's a little bit hard. We can kind of zoom in here. We can see when we bought mine, not really, but a lot of times on players. So I did a terrible job of planning this ahead of time, but a lot of times you see spikes just before the lock closes. So you want to avoid that, but you can sell your player right afterwards. Bank that ETH. Hopefully you made a little bit more. Hopefully on Darling and Nabby, if you bought him for 0.01, you can sell him for 0.11 if the ETH. Now we just made a fraction of a coin that we can start adding up and be able to buy more and more players to stockpile. The other tip I want to give is make sure that you do not bypass the casual league when you start out as well. So going back to here, the casual league is where you can put the rest of your commons. And maybe you don't have all guys playing. It doesn't matter. You win a reward in casual no matter what you score. You will get at worst a tier 2 common, which can be a real player. Like it can be somebody that can genuinely help your team. If you are in the 50 to 100%, you get a card, and onwards and upwards. So those are guys that will realistically play and can add to your gallery. Maybe it's just a defender, but maybe it's a Matt Hedges. He's probably a tier 2 or a tier 3, and you could have a common of him, and now you can buy a different position. So always looking at your complexion of your roster is going to be big. I hope that this helps. Final thing, actually, last point I want to make. The final thing of the Academy, which I think is so awesome and such a good idea by Sorare, is that in every other competition, including casual, right? You go back to that screen one more time. We see you start getting real limiteds. This is completely free to play. You only can use common. But if you're in the top 100, you get a tier 3. That's a card worth actual money. But you are up against people like me, people like, you know, any other content creator out there that still decides to play casual, still decides they want to add up, because we've had been on the platform for a while. I have an Mbappe common. I have a Haaland common. I have a Joshua Kimmich common. I have an Enzo Fernandez. I have some of the best players as commons. When you start out, you don't get those guys. So you are playing against people like me. I don't enter common as a casual as much anymore. Sometimes I'll just flat out forget. But you're up against people. So you've got to finish ahead. On the Academy, you're only playing against a score. It doesn't matter. I can't play Academy. If once you enter, you know, a rare division or a limited division, you no longer can play Academy. So you're not playing against me. You are playing against a score. And if you reach that score, you get a reward. So you just have to engineer how to get to that score. From there, once you've now added up, you've got enough limited, or you've built an ETH balance up, you can start buying more cards. You can go into, I think where I would go from here is the underdog limited division. I'll do, you know, some content on that coming up, specialist. And then hopefully as we keep progressing, because this is the way that you progress through the game, you know, you can get to the point where you can look at buying rares, buying more limiteds, deciding what division you want to play, all of which started with your deposit. So if you have any more questions, feel free to reach out, Discord, Twitter. You can find me. We'll be glad to help. Comments on here, come to my phone too. I hope this helps. Again, I really do. If you're brand new to Sorare, I hope that you enjoy the Academy. And finally, my referral link is in the link below. When you sign up on Sorare, if you are brand new, have not signed up before, you should use any sort of link, whether you like my content, you like somebody else's, use somebody's link. Because once you buy 5 cards on the auction, not on the secondary market, but on auction, you will get a free card. I get a free card too. You get a free card as well. We both win, but you definitely want to have that free card, whether it's only worth $3, $4, $5, 0.001, 0.002, whatever. It is adding to your balance to progress through the games. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please leave feedback below. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like, and good luck. Talk to you later. Bye.